Hi, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're coming in from. Welcome to the Hardworking Parents Podcast, where we ask big questions on family and how to do things better as a parent. Hopefully, your toddler's not eating crayons this morning, so let's get into it. My name is Chris Young, and today we're talking about how to protect your family's future with my good friend, RJ Horner. RJ, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I think you already did that, but RJ Horner, beacon of leadership,
Yep.
and just yeah, always anxious to talk about these topics to help parents just find that um, better moments, better life.
Yep. Perfect. So today, some of the stuff we're going to talk about is how to protect your family future is about life insurance, retirement. Yeah, we're going to go there. It's all good. And so first, let's talk about financial planning, RJ. So it's like building a sandcastle, right? For some people, they don't have a solid foundation and they just sort of crumbles underneath them as they get older. So what would you say is a good tactic for financial planning?
First of all, awareness. You know what? Awareness is key. Like you said, um, it's like building a sandcastle where things just keep falling apart because we're not building that structure that's going to when the waves come in, that's going to keep it all together, right?
Right.
So really just being aware of what is our circumstances, why are we living life this way, and then that'll allow you to take the next steps in finding those solutions.
Yeah, for sure. So you could kind of say like budgeting can be boring for some people, but if you look at it as a treasure map, it can actually be more fun, don't you think?
Yeah, I know you like gamification, right? So
Yeah, I do.
absolutely. You know what? Anything to make it more enjoyable, right? Because these are the topics and that's why you said, "Oh yeah, we're going to get into it today," because these are the topics that people don't like to touch. They just want to life to go smoothly. But the problem is, life doesn't go smoothly because we don't look at them, we don't consider them, and therefore we struggle with them.
Yeah, it's kind of like ignoring something that's important, right? It creeps up
Hmm.
on you and builds up. So anyway, let's get into our first dad joke here. Why did the banker switch careers?
Don't know.
He lost interest.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's pretty funny. So you see, money can be fun, but at some point, it can also use tools to help you. There's a couple ones out there. Have you ever used any of the budget tools before, RJ?
I have, yeah. We've gone through even some counseling for budgeting because we had a problem at one time. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, I've used budgeting tools, and we have our budget for the most part under control, right?
Good.
Yeah, we
Good.
like to do. I think we all like to do that little bit of extra spending, unfortunately, and that can hurt us as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, we have our budget pretty much under control. I hope.
What do you use? Would you like to mention the program you use, by chance?
Honestly, we don't even use software. We just kind of, we know when our income comes in. We know we got it all in a calendar, pretty much. That's
Oh,
that's
good.
that's our system.
Yeah, yeah, we do the same. We know what's coming in, what bills are coming up. We put them on the calendar, so we know, like, on the 15th we have like maybe electricity or stuff like that, and we know what it is. Have you ever tried doing automatic banking stuff, where when your
Well,
paycheck comes in, you get your bills come out right away, that sort of thing? You guys
yeah,
do
as
that?
much as it's on a calendar, most of it is set up automated, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's not so that you don't touch it. It's just so that the bills get paid when they're supposed to get paid, right?
Paid
That
on
you,
time. Yep.
yeah, you don't have to go in and make the manipulations going, oh, I only have this much, I only have this, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's automatic. If there, and look, for whatever reason, if your income does come short, I mean, you'll get that notification coming up going, okay, this bill didn't clear, right? That's
Right.
really
Right.
how that'll work.
That's good. Yep. Yeah. I've did a bunch of programs before. I used Mint for a while until then they went out
Mhm.
of business, and then they have another one now. It's not as good as Mint for some reason, but they wanted to pay for everything, which I think was kind of funny for a budget program. You got to pay for it.
Well, and look, it's a tool just like anything else, right? And that's one of the things is that if you want to use these tools to your benefit,
Yep.
look, they're putting a program or a software together to help you, right? They need to pay their bills just like any other business. They
Yep.
need to
It's
keep their
good.
business running. They need to pay their bills. They need to pay their employees. So they have to charge you for the service. Yeah, so a lot of places give you
Kickstart.
free platforms or free, a free trial or something to entice you to use their system.
Yep.
But the idea is they really want to upsell you. They want you to go beyond the trial, use their services, right? So
Yes.
unfortunately, everything is a business and it costs money to run it.
Very good. I like that point, RJ. That's well put. All right, let's move on to life insurance, which is very important. As we get older, we want to make sure that we have protection for ourselves and for our families. You can imagine life insurance as a superhero cape for your family, so it helps protect them, especially if things happen to go sideways. You never know what life will throw at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So each has its perks, and there's different types. What do you know about life insurance there, RJ?
So both my wife and I have life insurance plans. Mine is supplied through my work, so it's a benefit of
Yep.
my employment. But I also took an option when I started to have 3 times my salary.
Mm-hmm.
So mine is up in the area of 250,000 at this point.
That's nice.
My wife, hers is not through her employment. She had to go out and get an external policy. At one point, she had a policy for I think it was only like 70,000,
Mm-hmm.
and then she saw an option where she could take like a different policy for 500,000 for
Oh wow.
pretty much the same kind of money.
Yep.
So she jumped on that one. I mean, the idea is you want to set yourself up so that you can pay once you're gone, because that's where life insurance takes effect, right?
Yep.
Once you're gone, it leaves your family protected.
Right
So
on.
you want to make sure that you can have at least enough money in there to cover your funeral or whatever death expenses may come along.
Very good.
Pay off some bills, maybe pay off your mortgage or pay down your mortgage
Mm-hmm.
so that those you leave behind aren't burdened with your financial circumstances.
Yes, I've seen that happen a few times in my life already. Different people I know, they've got burdened with the bills that someone did not choose to have life insurance or any backup plan for themselves after they're gone. So
Mhm.
it's a good plan. Do you know the different types that are available, RJ?
I don't. I'm not that good. I know you were
Yeah,
into
I
selling
did.
insurance for a while,
Yep.
so you're more familiar with that
Yep.
stuff. So perhaps you could tell people.
Sure. Well, the first one is term insurance, which is you pick a term like 10, 20, or 30 years, depending on your age. And the idea of that is that you just pay for a certain amount. Like say you want 100,000, 200,000, or maybe 500,000. You pay a certain fee for a period for that period of time of 10, 20, or 30 years. And some places leave it the
So we've lost Curtis's signal. Not sure if it's on my end or Curtis's end. Hopefully he can come back and join us, because this is a topic that I'm not familiar with. I mean, I know there are different types of policies out there, but Curtis is more, like I said, he's the life insurance guy. So Curtis, are you able to like log back in or something? See if that will help. I know he said he was having trouble with his internet before we got started. So, and I hope people, are getting value from this topic. And there's more we're going to get into with this episode from emergency savings, retirement planning. So I hope Curtis can get back in here and join us, because there's a lot of discussion still left to come. So please hope stick around, folks. Bear with us. There's Curtis back. So
I'm on my cell phone now, and I'm a guest.
gotcha. Oh, so
And
you
it's
don't
not
have
having
any
internet
tools
connection.
or
It says it's on, but it's not connecting for some reason. But my phone
gotcha.
always works.
Got you. So you were telling people about the different types of life insurance.
Yep. So the term one, it's just different times that you pay for, and it's a set price. Or you can have where it's inflation rated. So every year it goes up by a little bit, so that you can adjust for inflation. So, like, say, for 30 years now, your $100 is not $100; it's worth more, obviously, and they adjust your fees according to that. The next one is like what does it call it? Whole life. That one is where you have the life insurance plus the savings is the idea behind that. Universal is similar. They have little tweaks here and there that that makes them a little bit different, but they're similar. But with those ones, what happens if you take the money out of the account? Like, say you need the money for something, say something comes up, and you take the money out, that actually cancels your account, which most people don't know. And the money you put into it, if you die, it's gone. They take your money. All that savings that you have, they will take the money away.
And so
They
you're
don't.
not able to withdraw, like it's not a bank account where you're able to withdraw the entire amount. You take a
Yeah,
portion of it and it pretty much closes your account, is what it
yeah,
sounds.
well, yeah. That's what the weird thing is about that. Unless you set it up properly, and then you can take the money out, but then it goes against the money from your life insurance policy. So
Yeah.
say you took out 10 grand. Say you were going to take your kid to university and they needed 10 grand, so you took that out for that, because you didn't have a savings for college or university. That
Mhm.
will, if you don't pay that back in a certain over time, they'll take and withdraw it from the life insurance policy from you. So let's say you had a $500,000 policy, they'll take the 10,000 off that. It's kind of weird. It's like a weird, like a little thing they put in the fine print, basically. Don't read as
Yeah.
usual. I'm sure you probably
Yeah.
read the full
You
disclosure.
you're still having internet troubles there, Curtis?
They check your condition after you're dead, which is kind of strange because whatever was wrong, they'll figure out and they won't pay you out.
Got you. So you want to make sure that you have the right type of policy before you. And so how do the general public understand something like that?
I just read the fine print. That's about it, and then just try to find the right person because don't get it. Hold on, let me check something.
Yeah, try that. What were you telling us again?
All right, sorry, the Wi-Fi keeps on kicking off, so I just use my mobile one.
Yeah,
Seems more reliable.
yeah, that's your best bet. Um, so yeah, you were telling people about they're trying to sell you something and then you were cut off.
Oh, but it's different if your friend or if a couple friends have the same policies and they're telling you that how good it is probably better than if.
Right.
And also, you gotta do your own research, right? Like anything.
That's what I was going to say. You know what? It's nice to have your friend's recommendation, but it's only a recommendation, right? And I will say this: look, it's a legal document, right? This is
Yeah,
something that determines your future, especially your financial future. So you want to get that checked out by a legal representative and make sure that what you're buying into is something that you want to get invested in.
yeah, for sure, 100%.
So
So
then
let's.
the next thing is how do we calculate? Like I kind of touched on it before, but how do we calculate what's the right amount to get in insurance?
Everybody has their financial freedom number, which means like, say what you're making today is what a certain amount, right? And then there's actually a formula. I don't remember the formula, but there's actually a formula to find that number. So let's say you currently make, say, example, $5,000 a month, right? So you make was that like what's 5 times 12? $60,000 a year roughly.
Mhm.
So you got to figure with inflation, there's an inflation rate they have as a standard number. You multiply that by the amount of time you got left, and then usually it's like over a couple $1 million or a million something usually for most people for at retirement. And then they can calculate what you need to save over a certain period of time. So if you're 50, let's say, and you only have 15 years left, it's a huge amount of money. And most
Mhm.
people can't do that. That's why
And
they
but
recommend when you're young
that's
to
for
start.
retirement planning. It sounds like you're talking about there.
Yep. No, but that's the same idea as for your insurance. That's the other thing they help you with. If you do term, they help with the financial planning. But as for your life insurance, it depends on your current expenses generally. So, like, say you're 30 and your current expenses like 5,000, like say it's $2,000 a month, but then you got to think how much per year is usually 60, and then you can double or triple that. So
Mhm.
if you double or triple that, that's 60,000. That's 120 or 180, right? Roughly
Yeah. Yeah.
depends, and then you got to figure out what you owe. So if you have a house, car, and that thing, you got to calculate
Right.
that too. So if
Right.
you're say your house payment is say you have a $300,000 home, you want at least that much to cover that expense. But then you got to figure how much is the funeral cost. What kind of funeral do you want? Do you want a burial? Do you want to be cremated? That sort of stuff changes the whole dynamics. But that's part of the planning process of doing your life insurance because everybody's individual thing is different. So if you're a 20-year-old guy single, it's going to be different than someone who's 30 with 2 kids or 3 kids, or even someone who's 40 or 50 who have kids gone to college,
Mhm.
right? And you
Yeah.
can adjust according over time.
Yeah. And I just want to say out there, because we are offering guidance to people here. We're offering some advice, but we are not financial advisors. So
That's right.
please, you know what? Seek out some financial advisors. Get that professional guidance. We're offering you some tips and tools here, right? To help you plan for your future, to consider your future. But go out there and get the, like I just talked about, it's a legal document. Get the, you know, legal advisor to look it over. This is your financial planning we're talking about here. So you do want to go and seek some professional guidance, for somebody who knows about this stuff and handles, you know, hundreds of clients and has a success
Yeah,
rate of this.
yeah, for sure. That's good. That's good disclaimer there, RJ.
And then we've
All right.
also talked about, we talked about this in past weeks, but the emergency savings. Why is that so important?
Well, you got to figure, if your car blows out a tire, or like you did a couple weeks ago, you had to replace all your tires because you had like older tires on your vehicle. And winter's here, and where you live, it's pretty snowy, right? Up here in Canada. So you want to make sure you have a good set of tires. Absolutely. But yeah, sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. You just need that little extra cushion. Could be like $1,000 to start out for some people, which, for $50 a week or bi-weekly or whatever, that's not too much, right? As long as you
Yeah.
don't use it for anything like, oh, hey, I need to get this new blah, blah, blah thing. No, you don't. You probably could wait till you save up for it, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of us have that desire to get it now feelings. And sometimes you just got to be patient with yourself and what you want and just save up for it and wait.
Mhm. And you know, and you say $50 a week, and don't get me wrong, if you're not saving anything, $50 a week is a great start,
Yeah, it's
right?
just
They
something,
say
yeah.
10% because that's going to start adding up. It's going to start accumulating. But look, I'm going to be honest, 200, you know, $50 a week. Well, that'll get you there within what? $50 a week times 52
A
weeks.
year,
That's less than, well, I don't even know how much that is. Oh, it's
500
$2,500. So,
Yeah, it's not much. It's just something to get you started, right? Just an idea. Because once
yeah.
you get a habit built, then you can build upon that habit, right? So if
Mhm.
you have a habit of saving, or say you decide to do automatic baking, so every week you get paid, you just automatically from your bank puts $50 in savings account for you. You'll
Mhm.
never see it. You won't know, right? It's like if you don't see it, you don't spend it.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. So
And
let's do a dad joke, maybe.
sure,
A bit of piggy
absolutely.
bank. Sure. There I go. Why did the piggy bank break up with his girlfriend?
Sorry, say that one again. Why did the
Why did the piggy bank break up with his girlfriend?
he was probably going to be broke eventually?
No, she was acting a little changey, like clingy, changey. Yeah.
All right, all right. I'll forgive you for that one.
So these dad jokes all about being like kind of like, oh,
Yeah, they're corny. There's no doubt about it. And
yeah,
and I like that you include that in this in these episodes. It's something a little quirky, a little corny, and you
yeah,
know maybe you know people like enjoy something for people to enjoy during these serious discussions.
yeah, little breakup or whatever, like little pause. So what was the other thing you want to mention there?
We were talking about next. We're going to talk about retirement planning,
Yeah.
and
So
we've talked about this. I mean, but what are some of the ways that people can get started? You kind of mentioned them earlier, but
mhm,
because I have this conversation with people whenever I hear they're going to be retiring. My first question is always a simple one: are you ready for that? But that's a
yeah,
loaded question because it doesn't mean are you tired of working, right? It means
yeah,
what are you going to do when you leave this place,
yeah. Do you have a
knowing that
hobby?
you may have 15, 20, 30 years left after you leave this employment. So what is your income going to be look like? What is your lifestyle going to be like? Do you have a support system like family and friends around you that is going to help make retirement more enjoyable and of course expand on the time you may have left?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. With retirement, like you said, if you don't have hobbies and all you ever did in your entire life was work every day and did nothing else, then it could be a problem, right? For
Right.
some people. And if you don't have something you want to do, say woodworking, for example, is your hobby, would you carry on? Would you have all the tools? Would you make stuff and try to sell it as a hobby? You know what I mean? That's the thing for some people. And some people, why do I just sit around and do nothing? It's not about just sitting on a beach and drinking margaritas or the whole day, you know what I mean? There's more to life than just doing that. And people
Right.
who do that are not like they actually have a sense of boredom after a little while.
Right.
and then they
Yeah.
get lost
And
in
there's that
whatever.
expression that says, "Get busy living or get busy dying," right?
Yep,
And if you're not doing something with your life, something you enjoy, something that's going to bring happiness into your life is not going to be, um it may not last very long. Let's just put it that way.
yep. Yeah, I guess sense of boredom would kick in, and then you don't know what to do, right? So it's like anything. If you're planning for retirement, you got to plan for after retirement too, which some people might miss out on, right? Because they think, oh, I'll just retire, I'll do nothing. It's like, have you ever been on holidays for a month? You get pretty bored.
Yeah, like how many people when they go on vacation, they're like, it's a week or sometimes 2 weeks, and they're like, "You know what? It was great, but I was anxious to get home," right? I was anxious to get back to my life.
Yep,
Because you can only do these things for so long. But
yep,
it's nice, and there's another thing is that we have to change it up. We have to do different things all the time. So expanding new opportunities, new ideas, these things will keep you more enjoyable, more interested, and again, expand that timeline.
yep. Also join different groups too, right? Like groups of people that are doing stuff. So, like,
Yes.
say you're an outdoors person, go outdoors club, or maybe like you like to walk, or join a walking club. And I've seen old people do that, and they have more fun, they enjoy their life because you're with others, right? And that's what I think as humans that we need to do is interact with people. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like have similar ideas and plans, and do things with people that have similar interests. Makes our life more enjoyable. Even like you may not like your job, but outside of work, you might have these people that are awesome, right?
Yeah. And I know we'll get into the financial aspects of it in a second, but it's a really about keeping yourself busy is what we said. And groups and social interaction is very important to us, but work is also important to us. Like you mentioned a hobby. Great.
Yep.
It's great to have a hobby, it keeps you busy. But if you still want to be a contributor, somebody who provides, there's lots of volunteering opportunities out there for you to
Mhm.
feel productive, feel like you're working. Yes, you're doing it for the goodness of your heart. You're not getting paid for these opportunities,
No,
but
it's a
still, it
different
gives you something to get out of the house, get up in the morning, get out of the house, go enjoy some quality time with people, and feel like you're doing something of value.
perfect. That's good. That's a good thing.
And then,
So
so now we're going to talk about the financial aspect of it, right? We need to
yeah,
let people know that this retirement costs money.
yeah. Well, I guess it depends where you live in the world. They all have different style of retirement plans, right?
Hmm.
Here in Canada, we can actually our employer can help us. Our bank can do the same. They can set up something for you as well, and they can also do stuff on your own. They can do your own, like find an investment person that helps you build it.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are kind of expensive, but you don't see it until later on. I've heard of people who had investments and they think they have $1 million and they go claim it and it's like it's half the money because all
Yeah.
the fees and
And,
stuff,
and
right? They
and a
don't
lot of
know.
people here in Canada, they rely on, so we have what we call the old age pension or the
Yeah,
retirement plan. Um, but this is limited funding, right? It's a small portion. We're talking less than $1,000 a week or month in most cases,
yeah,
and people
yeah,
just can't survive on that. So
no.
we have to seek outside avenues to subsidize that income. Now I have a pension where I work with, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, but let's say I left my employment, I need to make sure that I somehow subsidize that pension to keep it going,
Yeah,
to keep it growing until I retire. So, and so we have other opportunities like RRSP, registered retirement savings plan.
yeah,
And then we have other things like the TFSA, the tax-free savings account.
yeah.
There's different ways to save here, and your bank and your financial institution is really the place to go to I think, to kind of set these things up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's also other professionals out there too that can help you that are better than the bank, and they'll give you better advice. A fiduciary is a person that works for an investment company who has interest in your business, not the company's. So a lot of
And in
times you go
fact,
to these places and they'll just say, "Hey, buy this, do this," and they're just trying to sell you something. But if you actually
and
find
so
a
that word
fiduciary,
fiduciary is actually a legal term, right?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
they have a responsibility to their customer, over the financial institutions they may deal with you. So they are obligated to you as the customer.
that's right. Yeah, they're a little more expensive to use, but overall, they're looking out for your best interest and your best future. But
Yeah.
they're hard to find. They're hard to find because some of them. use the insurance, like say insurance or certain investments as a disguise of what they're really doing. But the legally, if they have this, if you do the paperwork properly, then you'll know they'll do the right thing for you. So that's a little weird thing in Canada that they do here. It's kind of strange. It's hard to find.
So these are the responsibilities we have to do as an adult, right? We need to look out for our future and we need to prepare ourselves. But we're talking to adults here. But
Mhm.
I know you do this in your own home, but how do parents out there, um, what's the best way to serve their kids in this area? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't touch on this area, but should we be teaching our kids about financial responsibilities?
Yeah, yeah. So like you want your kids to do stuff around the house, like so they want to help clean, feed the dogs, do like different chores that you help them get paid. You pay them to do work, right?
Mhm.
And then you get them like a savings jar. So like you tell them, hey, here's
Hold on. Before the
$5 for
savings jar,
doing the job.
I want to touch on what you just said because they say giving an allowance to a child is not necessarily a great idea, right? And it's
Yeah,
not. You're not giving a child an allowance um, to do specific chores every week because a lot of times they fall off, and then you still give them money even though
yep,
they may not have done all the chores this week. But maybe by giving them tasks and paying them per task, you're
that's right.
setting them up so that they understand that if I do this job, I get paid this dollar. I didn't do that this week. I didn't get paid that this week because I didn't do this task. So
That's
setting
right.
them up per task rather than, okay, here's your chores list this week. And then when you'll get your allowance at the end of the week. That's
That's
a
right.
trap that a lot of parents fall into. Whereas, if
Yep,
you're giving them and monitoring the task, going, okay, you didn't complete this, you don't get paid. Right. So
yep.
they can understand that I need to do my job, otherwise I don't get paid.
Yep. You can also make it into a game too, right? So let's say you have 10 tasks. Each task is worth a certain amount, and that's how they get paid. But you got to remember, like when you're doing that style where you actually do task by task for the children, it gives them a sense if I do something, I'm gonna get paid. So if you're doing work or if you're providing a service for someone, you're gonna get paid. And if the kids understand that if I do this, I get my money. If I don't do it, I don't get paid. It gives them the sense that hey, maybe I need to do something to get something. So yeah,
Right.
that's a really good
And then
point.
you were talking about now the savings or spending accounts.
Yeah, so like then you gotta let the kids know that if they say you make $5 for the week for doing your task, half that should go into your piggy bank or a jar saying for savings and the other ones for spending. So like say they want like a toy of some sort, then that's a separate savings. So after a few weeks, toys $20, you take 4 weeks to save up for it. Then you can take that $20 that you have to buy that toy. Then you still have $20, let's say, in savings. And
Mhm.
then that helps kids think, oh, hey, if I take half my money and put in savings, I can buy a bigger thing or have more things for the future. Or I can take all the money and put it into the one thing to get that toy faster. So it gives them a
Fascinating.
sense of savings and a financial responsibility that if they want something, can either they save up for it or they can actually have some for the future for something bigger. Say they want like a big bike, right? They
Yeah.
know that, hey, it's going to take me a year to save for the bike. I have a bike fund, then I have like my candy fund, and then I have another fund for whatever,
So
right?
you've taught them budgeting by doing this. But the other thing is it teaches them the value for the dollar, right? Like let's say they want to buy their friends birthday gifts, right? They can do that on their own through their savings and they've planned for it because they know, okay, this is what I want to buy for so and so, and it costs
Mhm.
$23. Well, it's going to take me X amount to save up that $23. Or when it comes time to Christmas, they want to buy their own Christmas gifts for their family members and
Yep.
friends, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Here's a
Yeah.
way to plan for that, budget for it, and get prepared using their own savings. They feel the value because they saved the money, they earned it, and now they're able to treat, because they say it makes us feel better to give. So
Yep.
by fact that they've earned the right to give these gifts to people makes them feel better, and it's also taught them their financial responsibility.
That's right. But also starts with the parents, right? So the parents should be responsible as well to help the kids, like a monkey see, monkey do situation.
Yeah.
So the parents are good with their money, then the kids will also see it. Even though as parents we may have knowledge to do something, sometimes we don't always do it 100%, especially if we're not doing that thing. So as a parent, we should also learn how to be budgeting our money and taking care of our financial
and
situation
and maybe doing
and
it
influence
together,
resources.
right? doing
Okay.
it as a group thing, going, okay, you know what, it's time to sit down and we'll do our budgeting or our bills this week. So you sit down and you talk through yours with the kid, and now you go through the kid and go, okay, you know what, yeah, you made $40 this week, you're putting $20 in your savings, let's do that. And then, oh, you wanted to save for so and so's gift. How much closer are you to that, because her party
Mhm.
is on next Friday. Are we able to go and buy the gift? You know what I mean? So doing this thing at a scheduled time, or when you can fit it into your schedule, sitting down with your child and doing this with them, it gives them the family bonding, but it shows them I'm doing what my mom or dad do, right? I'm learning just like they just how they manage their lives. So it really gives them a sense of empowerment.
Yeah, for sure. That's really good though. What you want. But yeah, if everybody's on board and working together as a team, as a family team, then yeah, for sure.
And then so you wanted to talk here about legal planning. I think we've kind of covered that throughout the episode, which is just,
Yeah, yeah.
look, these are big financial obligations, opportunities, lots of consideration. You want to make sure you have the proper counsel. And look, we know it's like you said, maybe it'll take $2 million for you to live your life post retirement. How are we going to make that happen? Talk to an advisor, talk to your legal planning, make sure you
Yep.
have your will and your estate prepared for. Because when you go, we're talking about life insurance, there are people going to be left behind who are going to have to deal with your
Mhm.
financial situation. And maybe
Yep.
you're in a good standing because you have your life insurance. But you know what? They don't know where it is, they don't know how to access it. By
Yep.
having that planning prepared ahead of time, you're taking care of things that they would otherwise be burdened with.
Yeah, for sure. So, want to do one more last dad joke here?
Absolutely.
Why did the dollar bill go to school?
It wanted to increase.
Yeah, to make more sense.
I'll give you that one. That was a good one. That was a good
Yep,
one.
pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so let's. You want to like wrap it up here, RJ? I think you did
Yep.
a little wrap up there a bit, but thanks for guys for tuning into Hardworking Parents podcast today. If you found this episode helpful, or if you want to know some more information, please leave a comment or contact us. You can join on my group, the Hardworking Parents, on Facebook. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and follow and hit the bell, ring that bell,
Ring that
and
bell.
let us know. And subscribe so the next time we go live, you'll be notified. Um, yeah, just like doing stuff like that is like tipping your pizza, but it's free. So it's all good. So keep on working hard, loving harder, and don't forget to laugh along the way. Any closing thoughts there, RJ?
No, thanks everybody. Keep tuning in. I think we're doing some great work here. I hope everybody enjoys it. And tune in next week. We'll have something else prepared for you.
Yep, we'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.